Hi, I'm Linda Fox, Senior Reporter with PhocusWire, and I'm here with Demi Horvat. She's CEO of AirDNA. Welcome, Demi.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining us. So you were recently promoted to CEO at AirDNA after joining through the acquisition, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I joined in February of this year.
Right, so congratulations obviously on becoming CEO. And just talk us through, how have you got so far in this industry? How have you come to this point?
Yeah, so I actually joined as COO and kind of got introduced to the industry through AirDNA, which has been a very exciting experience. And so far it's been an amazing introduction, definitely a lot of growth, a lot of change in the industry. And coming from another industry in my previous career in e-commerce, I think there's a lot of parallels to changes and kind of changing dynamics between brick and mortar moving to e-commerce, lodging kind of shifting into short-term rentals.
So what do you think that previous experience brings to AirDNA?
I think it's just a familiarity with the way that an industry that is changing and kind of going from historical ways of working,
more traditional,
legacy type of traditional approaches to things, to just being adaptable and being able to kind of be agile and respond to the change and to growth in different areas from what historically was the priority.
Okay. And, what do you think your priorities are going to be in your first kind of 60 to 90 days as CEO?
I think it's nice coming in having been COO for some time.
Sure.
Just being able to continue some of the priorities that I've had. But one of the biggest ones has been we've been building out our executive team. So spending a lot of time thinking about getting that team to really mesh and work well together.
Yep.
And then setting ourselves up for a phenomenal 2023. So we're doing a lot of planning. We've implemented a one-page planning process that will hopefully take us into 2023 with really crisp clarity on what the company is trying to accomplish.
Okay. What value do you think that AirDNA brings to the industry?
I think there's just so much value in understanding what's happening. And without data, I think it's very hard to understand what the trends are, understand what's working and what's not working. So I think it's that visibility and being able to have confidence in decision making, having information at your fingertips is what
it's kind of invaluable, isn't it, right now? Because as you say, there is so much going on.
It's our bread and butter.
Yeah. So do you see kind of what are your opportunities for growth?
So we have kind of multiple different products at AirDNA. One of them is our MarketMinder software platform, and see a ton of growth and opportunity there. We're thinking through kind of how to target customers best. We have an amazing brand name and recognition, so people come to us, and there's a lot of organic customer growth there. And then we have a number of enterprise solutions and products. So I think the growth opportunity is across the entire business, but one of the things that I really am excited about is with the changing market landscape, with the data as the underlying asset in this business, we have a lot of agility where we can look at historical trends and historical growth patterns and project those out and think about investments that we're making and what we think that they'll produce. But we also just have the flexibility where, for example, in a market downturn, if there's an impact on investors and kind of individual investors in STR properties declining in their interest, we have a ton of opportunity on the enterprise side of the house. For example, in hedge funds wanting to keep an eye on the market more closely.
Okay, that's interesting. So do you see kind of also potential for new products and services from AirDNA?
Yes. Yeah. So we're investing heavily in our R&D function. So we've hired a number of additional engineers onto the team recently, and we just hired a new chief product officer who is kind of establishing himself in the business. He's still fairly new, but he has a lot of great ideas for not only new products that we can create, but also I think just looking at our current packaging of our existing product and seeing what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, and kind of where we can optimize some of our existing.
And your hires, do they tend to be kind of from within the industry or from external?
So I would say our most recent hires have been external.
Okay, and that's quite good, right? Bringing fresh kind of perspective to what you're doing.
Yeah, I think it is fresh, creative ideas, and we have a lot of industry expertise at the company. So I think it's nice to balance those two things, where there are people who know the industry very well, they know kind of how things have worked in the past, and then we have some fresh blood coming in, injecting some innovation and kind of excitement about new things that we haven't thought of before.
Brilliant. And as you look kind of towards 2023, what do you kind of hope and expect the trends in your market to be?
I think there's a difference between what I hope and
right,
what I hear.
That's why I asked both.
Yeah, so I would say, as far as what I expect to see an economic downturn, and the magnitude of that I will leave to our
crystal ball
resident
gazers.
economist. Exactly. But I think one of the things that we're doing is we're going to do some scenario planning so that we're ready for anything.
Yeah.
And I think that will be a very interesting intellectual exercise, and also just enable us to batten the hatches no matter what's coming.
Yeah.
And then if it ends up being a lot better than we imagined, even better. We're kind of bolstered to enter a period of growth.
I mean, traditionally, especially over the past couple of years, vacation rental has done really well. It's been a bright spark of the pandemic, so hopefully that trend will continue. All people with second homes and maybe worried about paying a mortgage, then you're going to hopefully want to rent it out, which is all feeding what you do, right?
100%. Yeah, I think we have that insulation where there's always the kind of second homes coming onto the market. And then to the point I made earlier around agility, we also have multiple different revenue streams in this business, where even if some areas are kind of more impacted, there are other areas in this business that I think people might need data more if times are a little bit tougher.
Yeah, so hopefully one way or the other you'll be insulated.
That's what we hope.
Yeah. Demi, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.